And then I think we should now be live on YouTube. As far as I know. Holy shit, is this actually gonna work? Okay, so far it shows me live on Twitch, and then now it shows me live on YouTube. Let's make sure audio is not ear piercing. Okay, so far so good. Let's check one more thing, then I'll get started. Okay, so we're good. What's going on, guys? Do I have my desktop audio unmuted and that's why I heard my voice? I don't know. But yeah, so right now we are live on Twitch and also live on YouTube, which is pretty cool. We have a lot of things to talk about. Yeah, Chucky season 3, which is really cool. Okay. I don't know why, but it always scares the shit out of me doing all these things where it's streaming on different softwares and everything. Because it's I don't know, it's weird. I'll assume it's working. I don't know. I'll just start. So yeah, The Walking Dead has its new spinoff coming out the 25th of this month, which is cool because it has it's the first time we've seen Rick in all this time in the last I think 6 or so years, which is absolutely insane because like I said, 6 years without this one character. Now we're finally seeing him again. The first trailer they dropped for it was absolutely fucking insane. Okay, we're good. So yeah, the first trailer they dropped for it was absolutely nuts because it's literally one of the largest looking scale Walking Dead shows we've have ever gotten. And I think the budget for it is God, I don't know, maybe I swear it said $80 million or something like that. Or $82 million. That's like I said, I think that's the largest budget Walking Dead show we have ever gotten. You have all these walkers here. And I forgot what this compound is called, but it's then you have this horde right here, which is this right here might be one of the biggest hordes they've ever shown off in the show, which is really cool. Nonetheless, you have Michonne here in a whole new getup and everything with Rick's boot that she found inside the boat with Virgil in season 11. Actually, or it might have been season 10. Yeah, I think it was season 10. I think this is Pennsylvania or Pittsburgh. I can't remember exactly which state they're doing and everything or whatever, but it's cool nonetheless. It's obviously very destroyed. You have a bunch of people in the background here. Obviously Rick looking up at the CRM helicopter taking off with what looks like blue and greenish right here and everything on the side, the missile launchers, which is really cool. And yeah, this is the whole shot where everyone's oh, Rick's got hook arm, which is really scary to me. Because it's I really don't want to see him lose his arm because it's he's already gone through so much. But then again, there's that whole thing where it's Where in the new show, I think Andrew Lincoln said in a recent interview that he'll basically like something tragic will happen or something like that, or in like the opening minutes something big will happen that's like, you know, like sad or something like that. And I feel like that's him losing his arm, and like a lot of other people think it's him losing his arm, which is really like scary, because I think also right here it might be, yeah, you can like kind of see that like it doesn't look like he has an arm. I think it could also be seen, yeah, right here it looks like he doesn't have like an arm. Like, it looks like he has like his hands up his sleeves, or like it's shorter or anything, meaning he doesn't have his arm. It would be so cool if we got to see Silas and like the Civic Republic military and everything. So you don't see his arm right here, because I feel like he would be like, you know, sitting up like this with both arms up. But obviously because he only has one, he, you know, can't. Someone made like a really good theory. I don't think that's what, like, this is what's actually happening here, but someone made a really good theory that this is like Rick finding out about RJ. But like, I strongly doubt that's the case, but it would be really cool. And obviously this is probably the reaction he would have, where it's like, you know, emotional. I'm not sure what he's looking at here. Michonne with his new character and everything, the kind of like, you know, her makeshift Frankenstein monsters like Walker. This ship right here, which at first I was kind of wondering like, you know, what she was looking at that made her kind of get emotional. But I'll assume it's the maybe it's the fact that like, oh, it's a safe harbor, but it's all like destroyed, meaning like the CRM destroyed it and everything and all of that. And it's taken so much from like other people, and not just like, you know, her and like, you know, Rick and Judith and all of that. Yeah, and then it's translated. This is like, you know, keep believing just a little bit longer. Like, this just looks fucking nuts. You have like all these helicopters here and everything.
This is me.
I was a little conflicted at first if this was the CRM, like, because it kind of looks like a little different, everything with like the orangish or reddish and everything on the helmets and on the gear, but apparently this is the CRM.
Most powerful military.
Yeah, and you have like this character, which I think is like a new, like, you know, big character, like, you know, vital character in the show. And then you have Rick. I think, yeah, this has to be Rick in the background because it looks like him. I know it's a huge fucking blur, but this looks like Rick.
On the planet.
Why do you even think I'm gonna go?
Okay. Yeah, you have Major General Beale right here with like, you know, Rick, which is like nuts on its own because it's like, you know, this is a character we've been waiting to see for like years. And now they finally have him. Let me see if audio is like fine with the with this video. Okay, that's probably good. Actually, I literally just realized I went to go test audio to see if it's good. And my dumbass was like, oh yeah, but we'll just keep the desktop audio muted.
Hey, you don't get to choose for the world. You don't get to choose for me.
This is all I
Scream at Major General Beale. Because he's like, you know, you don't get to choose for the world and everything, which obviously is for General Beale, because he's probably just like, you know, this whole dipshit who's like, yeah, trying to like, you know, choose for the world and everything. Scatter. I do wonder, yeah, this has to be the this has to be the CRM attacking. I can't imagine within 6 episodes they're gonna introduce some like other mini villain that drops like this like whole gas bomb or whatever, because that'd just be nuts to introduce a new villain already.
We're the last light.
Jadis going to the last light of the world with that fucking haircut I hate so much. Jadis has always like kind of been like a weird character to me. because obviously they found her in like the whole trash slash dumpster community, and then it's just like now she's just here.
Of the world.
Yeah, this character and everything again.
I have to know that.
This I think is completely new. Like this is gonna be like, modern day in the CRM. It might be a flashback, but I feel like this is modern day in the CRM. And then there's another. Yep. Then that right there has to be Atlanta. When like Shane and Lori are looking over like Atlanta and everything on the highway, and I think season 2 watching it all get bombed, which is crazy. I think that the CRM might be involved, or maybe it's like a flashback with Major General Beale when he was like in the military or something, and like him involved with the bombing, or maybe like one of the other CRM people or one of the new characters we get introduced to.
This is not the end.
Jadis. I think this is in like the woods because there was a shot. Well, obviously it's in the woods. You see all the trees, but I think this is from the one picture that they showed off, where it's like Jadis pointing the gun, or like in the woods. And I think this is that. I don't know. It's a who. I doubt it's Rick.
Answer. It must end.
On the subway tunnels.
This isn't everything!
Yeah, Rick's screaming.
You don't get to choose for the world!
And there was that whole thing that they shared where it was like, oh, is there going to be more than one season? I think Scott Gimple said something that was like really to me, where it's like, oh yeah, even if Rick dies in like the last episode, it could still go on. And I was like, I don't think you want to kill off Carl and then kill off Rick and then keep it going, because the whole point of The Ones Who Live is like bringing Rick and Michonne back together. So I don't think it would be smart to kill one of like your vital characters, because it's just like, why would you do that? I just personally wouldn't want to see that happen, because it's like I said, it's just like, why would you hype up 6 years of that and everything and have like a potential of a 3-movie deal, which obviously I don't think it fell through, but it went into a TV show with an $80 or so million budget, or like something with like a huge amount per episode and $80 million overall or whatever. I don't know the exact number, but it's just like, I don't know why you would do all of that in all of those years and everything just to kill Rick and then keep The Ones Who Live going. And I think they were like, oh, we could have like a huge tie together where all of the shows come together, which a lot of people are clowning on, saying like, oh, that would pretty much be just The Walking Dead. I don't know, I feel like with what they have going with like The Walking Dead, Dead City, Daryl Dixon, and The Ones Who Live, I feel like what I would personally do is close off Dead City, that whole plot point after they're like, finished like doing what they're doing there. Close off Daryl Dixon, finally have like that whole conflict in like Paris, France, and everything all resolved, and then get all of them back home. Close off The Ones Who Live and everything, maybe, and then have them all come back to Alexandria, Hilltop, Kingdom, Oceanside, and all of that. I think Oceanside is still kind of standing, or they could just rebuild it up or whatever. And then have a Walking Dead season 12 where they're all battling the CRM, like the Commonwealth and all of that. Like I said, that'd be the biggest battle in The Walking Dead's history ever, and like with a massive budget. Like they have tons of new story to tell and everything from the comics, so it would be complete new grounds. And I feel like that would just be really good, provided they don't stretch it out too long and everything and make the war just perfect amount of time. I genuinely feel like that would be good. I know a lot of people are always like, oh, The Walking Dead, why won't it end and everything and all of that, but I feel like that would truly actually be good, is to have all of that like, collide into like a season 12. Unless they want it to just end in The Ones Who Live, then I guess have like Dead City close out when that story is concluded and all the conflict in there is resolved, and then have them all collide into, and obviously have Daryl Dixon like close out when all of that's resolved, and have them all go into The Ones Who Live, because I guess they technically are all The Ones Who Live, and then battle out the CRM with obviously the Commonwealth and all of that. I mean, all of the castmates and members still seem to be really close on the account of the fact that they had a premiere. I think it was in Los Angeles, or maybe it was like New York, New Jersey, where like Carrie Payton, Chandler Riggs, Lenny James, like, Morgan, Ezekiel, and Carl, all of them showed up and everything. So I feel like all of them will be really down to return for one big final battle and everything. Like, obviously, Chandler Riggs wouldn't return as Carl unless it's in, like, some sort of vision or flashback. But I think that would overall be really cool. Because, like, obviously, you got to have the reunions. You got to have Rick. Obviously, Rick and Michonne reunite, but obviously, Daryl, Maggie, Negan would be really cool. I feel like they need to have Rick see Negan free and just, like, have kind of, like, come to grips with that. I mean, he kind of promised Carl he wouldn't kill Negan, and obviously, everyone is kind of cool with Negan now. So, obviously, all of them would defend Rick, and obviously, Rick would have no really right to kill Negan. I mean, like, the only person who has, like, obviously there's tons of people that Negan is, like, tortured, killed loved ones of, and all of that. But I feel like Rick would not have a right to kill Negan. Like, if Maggie could live with Negan being out and free, I feel like Rick kind of has to. Because it's like, yeah, Negan started this whole war with, like, Rick and all of them in season 6, 7, and 8 and everything. But I feel like Rick would have no reason to kill him, so I feel like, Rick would kind of just have to live with Negan being around, and then that would be, like, really interesting and cool to see in that whole reunion. I don't know, I feel like they cannot end this universe, and all of these stories without obviously having all collide in the end, which I feel like having a war against the CRM would be really cool. And as they said, The Walking Dead ones who live could go on for more more than one season, and they have the story capabilities and obviously clearly the budget to do it. I mean, you do that and everything, then you close out this whole universe of Dead City, Daryl Dixon, and the ones who live all in, obviously, like I said, a Walking Dead season 12, or the ones who live season, I don't know, 3 maybe. Because having, Daryl's story end in Daryl Dixon without ever reuniting with Rick, and then same with Dead City, would be really weird. It's kind of one of those things where it's like it ended, or it started with it started with Rick, so therefore it should probably end with Rick. I mean, obviously, it probably should have also ended with Carl, but obviously, unfortunately, that won't ever happen.
You don't get to choose for me.
This whole scene also seems interesting, where they're out in the woods, just killing walkers, because it's why would they bring out the compound people out into the woods if maybe it wasn't for, CRM training against, walkers? Because obviously in the woods there are, battle sequences like this. So I wonder, and also, who would the CRM be battling against? Maybe this is, training, like I said, but it's just, unless it's a revolution against the CRM and everything, which obviously is very believable since obviously the CRM is very, kind of people. And this is Jadis versus Rick and Michonne. Because obviously there were some behind the scenes, leaked behind the scenes of, Rick and Michonne driving in a truck like this. Which would be, really cool. Or not would be really cool. It is cool that's going to happen in the first place. Yeah, like I said, I truly believe this is training for the CRM, which it'd be cool if we could see Silas or any of the other World Beyond characters. Although obviously Silas would be the only one that's safe around the CRM, since obviously the other ones are kind of leading a revolution, which is also another thing that's kind of interesting is what's gonna happen to people I can't remember any of the World Beyond characters and anything, but it's kind of what's gonna happen to them if they don't show up again. It feels like it'd be weird if they didn't show up again. That's kind of the issue with live action shows in general, is that it's just obviously actors are real people, and if they don't want to return, they don't have to. But when it comes to a story perspective, that's a whole issue where it's just it's kind of the same thing with the other show that I talk about, Chucky, where it's if Karen and Mike don't return, it's obviously Andy is Karen's son, so obviously she'd be worried and want to help him and all of that. So the fact that she doesn't show up is just kind of weird. And then same thing with The Walking Dead, where it's all these other characters that if they don't show up, it's kind of weird. It's kind of with Fear the Walking Dead, how they ended it without Sarah, Wendell, and all of that, those people not showing up, where it's just kind of weird. and obviously a lot of people are left disappointed. Like, I know World Beyond wasn't exactly the highest rated spin-off of the entire universe and everything, but I guess, like, you still do want some of those people to show up and have stories resolved, because it's weird when you think about it, and people will talk about it years down the line, or even when it's happening, saying, like, yeah, whatever happened to those characters? Yeah, I don't know, it's weird. I'm really excited for this since it looks very large scale. You have a crashed helicopter in this building. This other helicopter is like, lighting it up with missiles. This show just looks fucking insane. I'm so happy for it. I'm 100% reviewing every episode of this series. I really am. I know I'm like, always like kind of like, I'm going to review this, but like then I don't. But I do genuinely want to review the show since it looks like it is going to be fucking nuts. Trying to think. Oh yeah, Chucky. The other thing I want to talk about is Chucky. Trying to think. Chucky. It was Screen Rant. Yeah, this. Chucky in space. So basically at the... I'm trying to think of what the award was called. I think it was... Let me try to figure out what this is called, because I really want to figure it out. I know I shared the post with myself. It was the Saturn Awards. Yes. I hate how Twitter like looks now. This whole thing. Where it's just like you click a post in your bookmarks on PC at least, and it goes off to the side and shows your other bookmarks. I don't want that. But yeah, basically Dom Mancini was standing next to Zachary Arthur, and they were asked at the Saturn Awards, which they did get nominated for some. I think it was Zachary Arthur got nominated for Best Young Actor, something like that. And Dom Mancini got nominated or Chucky got nominated where it's like the Best Show or something like that. I can't remember what the like award was called. It's a Panda guy. So yeah, at the Saturn Awards, they were asked about, or Saturn Awards, I'm not sure if they won anything, but still good in general that they got recognized for the series and the franchise. But yeah, basically it was asked about Chucky in space, to which Dom Mancini said down here, everyone's asking me that question, so my question is, do you want him to go to space? Do you personally want him to go there? If there's enough of demand for that eventually, I don't know how quickly, I have an idea for that. And me personally... I don't know. I made a video that I'm gonna post like hopefully tomorrow, I think, discussing the whole Chucky in space thing. But it's just kind of like, obviously Chucky the Killer Doll is kind of goofy. He's obviously like, can be very campy and like go into that like whole genre of black comedy and all of that. But I truly do believe there's a point in which it can get a little, I guess stupid is the best word for it. It's like, I don't know if it ever happened, but I know Don will have some great ideas if it did happen. That's kind of the thing also. That's like weird. Is I'm kind of like, I have faith in Dom Mancini 100% because everything he's done so far for Chucky, it's like, I've liked it, I've enjoyed it. So it's just like, I have worries, but somehow I also have faith in him, which is kind of weird. Because like I feel like there's a way it can be stupid, but I think there's other ways where it can be cool. Like an idea I had was like, oh, what if they send Chucky to outer space and everything? I was like, oh, we can't kill him, so let's just send him to outer space. And then like, maybe like, maybe a month's time goes by, a few years, and then some astronauts go to space, and then Chucky kills them and gets flown right back down to Earth. That would be really cool. So you get like a little bit of Chucky in space. It's not terribly stupid, and it's also kind of practical. But then Chucky kill some astronauts in space. We do get some space, like, Chucky and everything and all of that. And then there are cool kills you could do. Like, you have Chucky, like, break someone's, like, astronaut helmet and then get sucked down to, like, fucking all this, like, insane gore and kills. But Don saying about the space thing makes me think that the rumors that season 3 has an actual conclusion might be false. I feel like what they're going to do with season 3 and the whole conclusion thing is I feel like they're going to make it seem like a conclusion. But then obviously he's going to come back, which is kind of the issue about the whole thing where it's like, if Chucky is going to come back, then the whole conclusion thing is not really going to mean anything because it's like, oh, of course he'll come back and everything. So it won't feel like an actual conclusion. Unless they make it seem like a conclusion and do what they did with season 3 where they were just like, oh yeah, we're not going to announce a season 4 for like 5-6 months and everything. We're going to make it seem like it's the actual conclusion of Chucky. But it's like, I feel like Dom Mancini would announce that's like the conclusion of Chucky. So it's just this whole thing where it's like, we'll have to lie to ourselves saying, oh yeah, this is an actual conclusion for Chucky. But then it won't actually conclude for Chucky. I don't know, it's a bunch of weird shit, but But yeah, I feel like that whole space idea that I have, like, I really do like it. Where it's like I said, you can get some really cool gore and kills and everything by having Chucky just get sent to space and then by like the trio or Andy or Kyle or Karen or Mike or Tyler or Kristen, Jesse, Jade or whatever. Just have them send him up to space to try to get rid of him for good and everything because they can't kill him like they've tried so many fucking times. And then he kills some astronauts to get right back down to space, to Earth. I feel like that'd be really cool. Or maybe, like, they use space as a way to, like, be able to, like, satellites to be able to transfer messages all over the planet and everything to, like, share Chucky's message or, like, Damballa chants. That would also be really cool, I guess. I guess it's not as much as so the more I think about it. Yeah, there's no way it will have a conclusion ending if Don keeps teasing at future ideas and whatnot. But yeah, the space thing could be real fun if done right. I agree. I feel like, I don't know, it's like, I feel like the stupid part lies is if they send Andy, Kyle, or the trio to space. Like, if you just send Chucky to space and maybe he's facing off against some astronauts, some, like, unknown astronauts, and it's done for a short period of time, and then he goes back to space, and just thinking about all of them in astronaut suits, that kind of is a bit goofy to me, I guess. I don't know. Like, I feel like I can see Chucky in, like, a little astronaut suit, I guess. Although I doubt they'd give him one, since obviously the whole idea is to get him the fuck out of there and maybe kill him. Another idea I had was, those packages? Packages might be the wrong word. But when, like, sometimes they'll send out records, tapes, movies, books, photographs, and all of that out into space to maybe see if, like, some other kind will pick it up and everything. What if they do that with a good guy doll and send, like, a good guy doll, like, one of America's or the world's greatest toys into space, and then, like, maybe aliens find it, which obviously wouldn't be the case, or maybe they do, and that would be, like, an alien crossover and everything, which would be really, really interesting. But I feel like that'd just be a crossover movie and anything that is not at all connected to, like, the Chucky universe, which I'd be fine with, I guess. I agree it would be a bit strange if the trio went to space as well. Maybe like a spin-off movie with Chucky and new characters or something. Yeah, because Critical Overlord did a video where he was like, I didn't watch the full video yet and everything. I don't usually like to watch other people's takes before I make my own video because it's like so I could go with some unique takes and not just taking other people's like ideas. But I think he did mention a film, at least in the thumbnail or the title, like instead of it being the series or the series or show. It's in like a movie, so I think a movie spin-off would be really cool. Like I said, maybe a Chucky versus Alien, like xenomorphs and everything. That'd be really cool. Or just in like a Chucky movie spin-off in general. I think that'd be kind of fine. Oh yeah, that'd be a fun way to send him to space. Yeah, like set him up and maybe like a care package and aliens find him. I know you won't have, like, Ripley fighting him and everything, because obviously, like, I feel like that whole thing is I don't know if they'd bring back her for like a Chucky versus Xenomorph for Alien spinoff, but I'm trying to think of the last idea. Oh yeah, the last idea I had was instead of making it a whole plot point or like a spinoff or crossover, is to have it be like when Liv Morgan came on in Chucky season 2, how it was more of like a cutaway gag in the episode. So maybe have Chucky in space be like a cutaway gag. Although they'd have to try really hard to make it like not in kind of fuck with the story or the tone of the episode and like the story and all of that, but I have faith they can make it work. They made the whole Liv Morgan thing work, so maybe they can make this like a cutaway gag that works. Donna's teased that a Megan crossover, so let's see how that ever comes to fruition. I would really like the Megan crossover. I really would. Like I said, I don't know if I would want it involved with like the current Chucky timeline and story. Although maybe you could have like the Megan protagonists. I can't remember what their names were or anything because it's been a while since I've like watched Megan. I actually do want to watch again now that I think about it, but have those protagonists and maybe Andy Barkley or maybe the trio and then Megan. I feel like that'd be really cool. And hell, that's something I would want to see. Like imagine Chucky versus Megan where you have like technology, kind of like, magic, I guess. Where it's like, Megan's able to go through like, the cloud, AI, and all of that. I think Chucky's able to use just basic magic like Damballa. I feel like that'd be a really cool clash of characters. I like the Liv Morgan thing. I could see them doing that with the space thing where it's not really happening in the universe. Yeah, like I agree with that. Like that could happen because like the whole Liv Morgan thing was pretty much out of universe also. So I guess that's very possible. And yeah, it's not the first time Chucky in space was brought up because it was brought up in 2021 when Mancini posed the idea of Chucky going outer space. And the next move for the franchise, which I'm assuming was, yeah, I think the Chucky series or show was starting at this point or already started. So I think it also mentioned something about not in like the show, but in the like a movie instead. Oh yeah. Exactly how Chucky's industry would manifest remains to be seen. While the Child's Play IP is far from finished producing content, the most recent entry into the franchise is the Chucky TV series. Chucky Season 3 aired 4 episodes in 2023. Will continue in 2024. It seems like Chucky will not be going to space in the Chucky TV, like, the Chucky the show, but no one ever knows. Diamond City is always open to meeting audience demands. So, it's possible we can see it in... we could see it in the show and everything, but I feel like a spinoff movie based on the current story of the show, it might be better to see it in a... It might be better to see it in a, like, a movie. I guess, kind of. Like a spinoff, kind of like, that sorts. I mean, in the end, we'll see. You never know, like, what's gonna... go on with the whole thing, but I personally, like I said, feel like it would do better in like a spinoff movie. I don't know. Don never fails to surprise me with what he does with the franchise, so who knows what happens. Still really curious about the second half of season 2. Me too. Actually, I think I saved the post, and weirdly, he's the only thing that said anything about it. Let me see if I can find it. Trying to think of where his post is. Oh yeah, this. I get so scared for a second that was gonna be like some like classic Twitter reply. But yeah, Devin Saw Wallace basically said on Twitter saying Chucky 3.5 soon. Now obviously 3.5 can mean, I think someone mentioned March 5th. That's possible. Like maybe an air date or like another trailer date. But if it is air in May and everything, a second trailer in like a March would make sense. Or season 3, episode 5, or season 3, part 2, or 5 and everything, like the second half. So he's the only guy, like a person about like from the show that I've seen tweet about season 3, part 2, besides maybe Jennifer Tilly, like throwing up some behind the scenes images. Yeah, and then Chucky's saying, or Devin Sawa saying, "I miss Chucky is real," and him saying, "I thought I blocked you." Yeah, and then Jennifer Tilly saying, "Chucky, you're on." That's really cool. But there's a lot of actually, you know what's kind of funny actually? Is there's a lot of really conflicting like I guess not reports, but a lot of really conflicted opinions about Chucky going to space. Like, let me see if I can find the original Screen Rant post. Because yeah, I didn't realize it would kind of have this response. Oh my god, I just tried to have to go through this horrid fucking like Twitter thing. But yeah, there's a lot of really mixed opinions. Like a lot of people are like, oh, Jason X and everything and all this cool shit where it's like, oh, hell yeah, I definitely want it. Talking about it for years. I want to cross over with other horror icons, a bunch of that stuff. Oh yeah, very strange. Devin Sawa. I just hope we get some sort of trailer before the release. I need something to consume in the meantime. I agree. I don't know. I feel like hopefully we'll get some more bits and pieces. Like I don't feel like I need it. I obviously want another trailer before release. I 100% do. But if they also were to just give us some like information tidbits, I feel like I would also want like some of that also. Like that would kind of satisfy me. And maybe some images, behind the scenes images, photographs, and photos of all of that. I feel like that would satisfy me also. You know what's kind of weird is I haven't thought about it in a little bit now, but the extreme situation that the Chucky creator or Child's Play creator is coming in with, obviously John Waters playing him, is that I kind of forgot about that, but it's like, it's not in here. I'm trying to think of where it was. Because there was a lot of very not insanely positive feedback. Like there was a mix. It was like there's some good feedback to like Chucky going to space, and there was some kind of people against it. I support both sides and everything. Like, I could understand why some people are like, no, fuck no, please, and then there's some people that are like, please send him to like to space because they'd find it cool. Trying to find the post. I think it was Bloody Disgusting that posted about it. Let me see. Fuck, I love Bloody Disgusting. I'm trying to see where they like posted it because I think it was them who I originally saw it from. Oh yes, here. I'll make sure there's nothing weird on Twitter. Okay, good. Oh yeah, the good guy creator thing. I wonder how they'll play into the story. Very hard to see what happens with that. Always fun to see John Waters back. Yeah, exactly. He's someone I'm really excited to see back, and also the concept of the creator of the Chucky Good Guy doll and how it played into the story. I wonder if he'll like make new Good Guy dolls or Chucky dolls. That's always a possibility. Yeah. So this is all the reception. You can't have a franchise this big and not have at least one in space movie / episode. Again, I think I'd be fine with like a crossover or like a crossover or a spinoff movie or whatever, not connected to like the current story or universe. Yeah, some people are like, well, we want Chucky. No, he needs to make Chucky scary again. I think season 3 is doing a pretty decent job at that, at least in my opinion. Yeah, some like negative reception and everything. Yeah, just in general, there's like a lot of really mixed opinions about the whole ordeal. yeah, like Pinhead, Leprechaun, Jason when they went to space. I don't think I know about the Pinhead Hellraiser one, but I do know about like Leprechaun and Jason. It basically saying like, oh, it didn't work for those guys, I think, so it might not work for Chucky. I'm also very mixed on the whole ordeal. Like maybe it'll work out, maybe it won't. Who knows? I do. If it does, like, happen, I hope it does work out because, like I said, I trust Down Mancini, but at the same time, the idea could be stupid. So who knows? And yeah, this is a thing from Jennifer Slay saying, congrats to Zachary Arthur and Real Dom Mancini for the well-deserved Saturn Award nominations for Zach for Best Young Performer in a Television Series. That was the award. And Don for Chucky, Best Horror Television Series. I don't know if they won, but it would be really cool if they did. Let me see. I mean, how many horror, like, obviously there's a lot of horror television series. Keanu Reeves was there for Lance Reddick. That's really fucking awesome. Oh, wait, Norman Reedus was there too? I'm finding, I'm getting fucking thrown off here, like, seeing like, a bunch of random stuff. Oh, okay, so American Horror Story, Chucky, Fear the Walking Dead. Okay. I've seen a lot of hate for the show for being too campy, but I agree with you. Season 3 has been more serious for the most part, and me personally, I don't mind the campiness. I don't mind the campiness either. I feel like they do a pretty decent job at, like, balancing it. Although I feel like season 3 is a lot more horror, which I like. Like, I like that and everything. So, like, the first 2 seasons had obviously horror in it and everything and did a pretty good job. I feel like season 3 is my favorite, which I think is heavily on the fact that Chucky is more like scary facial expressions, which I miss. We did get some of it in season 1 and 2, but See, American Horror Story, Chucky, Fear the Walking Dead, which, unfortunately, if that won any awards, I would be very surprised. Because I did not love the last season, as did 90% of people who watched the final season. What We Do in the Shadows from, which I thought was a movie. I didn't realize it was like a show, but Interview with the Vampire I know has a lot of fans. Obviously, The Last of Us is fucking huge. I think the biggest contenders for this would be American Horror Story, Chucky, Fear the Walking Dead, maybe because of name value, and then Interview with the Vampire, Last of Us. I don't know about What We Do in the Shadows and From. Yeah, and for season 3 to be back to one Chucky doll definitely makes it better and to have more stakes. Yeah, I agree. I like the fact that it is one Chucky doll. It's kind of weird also because it's like, I don't know, I feel like what they did when they had multiple Chucky dolls didn't end up working for me, in my opinion. Like, I don't feel like it really worked out well because it's like, I don't know. Maybe it was like because of budget constraints and concerns, but I don't think the multiple Chucky dolls really worked in the show. I don't know. I just feel like it was rushed and just went by really fast. I mean, you had like literally like all those dolls die so quickly. And I was just kind of like, eh. Like, I don't know. It kind of makes me go back to like Child's Play 3, I think, where they were meant to have like multiple dolls, but they didn't because I think it was like budget constraints or whatever, like the MPA or something, like some shit like that, where they were meant to have like multiple dolls and anything. I feel like I would have like been interested in seeing how they did it there also, although I do like how Child's Play 3 actually is. But yeah, it just feels like the multiple Chucky dolls went by just way too fast. Yeah, I didn't hate it, but I felt like it didn't matter how many Chuckies died. There was always a backup doll. Glad there's only one now. I agree with that, like I said. But like I said, the multiple Chucky doll thing just didn't feel like it worked for me. It was cool. Like, don't get me wrong, it was cool for what we did see, but I wish they expanded on it more than just having like a few standouts, you know? Maybe they'll bring back the whole multiple Chucky doll idea, like eventually, and then like expand on it some more. But it feels like there's so much more they could have done with it, like having multiple Chucky dolls rampaging in like a whole town, like going through shops and all of that, like killing multiple people. That would be really cool. But maybe like they didn't want to do that because obviously having all of that would kind of let loose of Chucky's secret that he's actually alive. But maybe they'll like have something like that in like, you know, future series and all of that. Or maybe not. Maybe Chucky will be found out by the world just with his lonesome. I guess in the end we'll see, but I feel like the last thing I want to take a look at is the Pooh Blood and Honey 2 trailer. Yes, I agree. That's what I imagined back when it first teased in Cult. Yeah, I don't know. What can you predict? Oh, season 3, part 2 with Nika, huh? It's kind of interesting because they do show Nika in season 3, part 2. They showed like she did wrap filming for season 3, part 2. I feel like she would be like hunting Tiffany. You know, I feel like that would be your main concern is like hunting down Tiffany because obviously Tiffany's probably gonna break. Actually, no, probably Tiffany's going to break out of prison. I guess in the end that's kind of a bit of a theory, and I think she's not definitely going to. But I feel like she really is going to, even though there were some things about her like, you know, involved with lethal injections for like, you know, season 3, part 2 with Tiffany, which obviously she'll escape, but yeah, I feel like Nika's gonna hunt down Tiffany. Like she has, like she's kind of like Laurie Strode in Halloween 2018, where she's like staring down the barrel of her gun at the prison. Like if she escapes, she's going to open fire, killing her. Like I'm pretty sure Nika is like heavily monitoring Tiffany, and if like, you know, Tiffany breaks out, she will kill her and probably hunt her down. So I feel like that would be kind of the thing is like, you know, Nika going after Tiffany. I feel like that would just be her goal. So Nika feeling like a lot of potential she had. I hope she gets her revenge. I agree. I think that's all everyone at like wants for Nika because it's just like she's been through the fucking worst. So it's just like, you know, no one wants her to like receive any worse than she already has had. Because just like it could be, it just makes you think, because how much fucking worse can it get for her? I mean, she's like, you know, she's lost all of her limbs, you know, lost all of her family and all of that. So we can only hope for the best for her. But like I said, I feel like it's kind of majority of it is going to be hunting down Tiffany when she escapes or if she escapes. Well, I feel like she will escape because obviously why would you have Nika come back? Because it feels like her only conflict is with Tiffany. Although I guess it could be with Chucky too, you know? Because obviously Chucky fucked up her life royally. I actually saw someone bring up the question of Tiffany loves Nika. I think she would definitely would defend herself. I agree with that. Yeah, Nika lost a lot because of Chucky and Tiff. Hope she has a good ending in the latter half of season 3. I agree with that. I don't even know like what worse you could even do to her at this point besides killing her. Like she literally has lost everything. You know. So it's like, what it like? It's kind of that whole phrase where it's like, do your worst, and it's like, what the fuck worse could you do to her? Like, it's just so bizarre. Of just like, I don't even know. Like, keep her prisoner again, I guess, is like, the worst she could do. But it's like, why would you do that? I mean, she's already been through so much pain and like suffering. That's like, why would you have her go back to that? Like, it's possible they could do that and everything, but it's like, I have no clue why you would. But yeah, someone brought up on I think it was the Chucky subreddit about I think his name is John or Dr. Death and all of that coming back, or more of so like, just talking about Dr. Death and how he's been like, pretty ignored throughout like the franchise going forward. And I kind of agree. Like, I have a video written on like, Dr. Death and all of that. And like what could happen if he returns, how he could return, and all of that. I just haven't recorded it yet, but I would like to see him return because that'd be really cool. Lots of potential there. I mean, the showdown that's going to be in season 3, part 2, I think, when Nika hunts down Tiffany, said she would defend herself. Yeah, it's like the thing is she like probably would defend herself and not want Nika to try and kill her and everything, but just kind of like obviously Tiffany is so desperate for love because obviously she like, didn't get it from like, Chucky. So it's like I feel like she would kind of crave that love, but forcing it and like being actually that's kind of the thing that like an interesting thing to think about is like Tiffany has experienced so much abuse, like horrible abuse from Chucky and everything. Now why would she inflict that into someone else, aka being Nika? Like, it's just weird. It's kind of interesting that they never explore that, where it's like, Tiffany's kind of like, Chucky is bad to Tiffany, but then Tiffany is then bad to Nika, who she apparently loves. I love to see more explanation on Damballa in general. Me too. Apparently, we are going to get more Damballa with, like, seeing, I think, Damballa in its true form or something like that. Yeah, for the leaks and stuff, it does, like, there are going to be more Damballa stuff. And obviously, like, the seance. Yeah, Dominic mentioned the seance in, like, an interview that he had with someone. I can't remember what the person's name was, but yeah, I did mention his seance in season 3, part 2. There was a very interesting thing that he did say where he was like, where he mentioned how Chucky is in a world where he isn't the only one when it comes to his soul and spirit. So that kind of makes me wonder, like, oh, like, is there other ghosts that could take over Chucky's body? Because obviously in the White House, there's ghosts. So that's just a very interesting concept. Like, I wonder if we could see other ghosts. Because obviously we're going to see, like, Charles Lee Ray or Chucky in, like, human form as what I'm assuming will be a ghost. So that'd be really cool and will be really cool when we see it in season 3, part 2. And I do wonder if we will see any other ghosts. Like, I would love to see others. I mean, we have seen, I forgot what his name was. What, like, Henry's brother's name was in, I don't know why I'm blanking on the name. Joseph. Yes, Joseph. Because we've seen him as a ghost, kind of. Like, I'm not sure if that was just an apparition or, like, a hallucination from James, or if it's going to be, like, an actual, or if it was an actual ghost. You'll definitely lean into the ghost stuff, I think. They already teased it with Joseph. Yep. Actually, I kind of had this, like, crazy idea where it's, like, I always blank on her name, and I can never remember it, but there was a woman in season 3, part 1, that was introduced in episode 4, and she talked about how she saw a ghost, and she kind of sounded like she was, like, joking and everything, but she was, like, talking about ghosts, giving us all this lore about ghosts, and then all of a sudden, before she dies via the chandelier, she just comes out to the crowd and just kind of goes, I see them everywhere, they're all around here and everything. And it's like, she seemed a little weird, but I was like, with all the ghost stuff that's coming and all, like, obviously Joseph, Charles Lee Ray's ghost, Chucky's ghost, and all that, did she actually see something? You know, like, what was she seeing? Was she seeing all these ghosts, like, around? Did she see Chucky's ghost and all of that? Did she know Chucky was alive? Like, Charles Lee Ray, like, the doll was alive because she could see ghosts? Like, what did she see is kind of like the question or anything. Like, was she just crazy, spewing stupid shit or crap? Or what did she actually, like, see ghosts? I wanted to have Tiffany's going to react when she found out Kyle was behind Nika's rescue and she meets Andy's mother, and Kristen DeSilvia. There's so many reunions in this franchise that would just be, like, really cool. I'm trying to think, has Kyle ever met Tiffany? I don't think so, but yeah, realizing, like, how all that, like, that whole rescue went down would be really cool. It was really strange. Never thought about that. I'm super excited to see what will happen. Plus, live action Brad Dourif, like, with Chucky's ghost. I do agree, because it's like, I don't know. It's been like years since we've seen, like, actual Brad Dourif in, like, the flesh on Chucky, or, like, in the franchise, because I don't think Brad Dourif played Charles Lee Ray in, like, those flashbacks in Curse of Chucky or Cult. So he wasn't in there. And obviously, Fiona Dourif played Charles Lee Ray / Chucky in the flashbacks in the series. So yeah, it might have been ever since Child's Play 1, we haven't actually seen him in live action. So that'll be really crazy. I don't know, that would be really nuts in general to see. Yeah, I never figured out if Chucky actually won any awards. I guess not, which is unfortunate, but I think we're going to transition over to the Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey 2 trailer. Actually, let me put that screen on, actually. That'd be probably helpful. Yeah, this trailer was nuts. Again, I recorded a video on it. Hopefully it'll be out by Saturday. But this trailer was, like, really good. Like, I actually really liked it. It does look much better than the than Blood and Honey 1. This was also crazy, seeing, like, the character of Tigger with, like, the animated tail. Just super curious where they go with the spirits in the White House, because they're building up to something big, and I cannot wait. Me too. I hope there's something big with it where it's like Chucky. I don't know, maybe other spirits attacking Chucky, or other spirits, like, helping Jake, Devin, and Lexi, and, like, Andy and everything attack. Other spirits attacking Chucky. That'd be really cool. Yeah, the first Pooh movie really didn't do it for me, but this one looks super fun. I agree. The trailer, I feel like it looks much higher quality than the first one in terms of scale and location, and obviously the effects for, like, Winnie the Pooh, Tigger, the bird creature that I cannot remember the name of or seem to remember the name of, and obviously Piglet. What do you think is Tiffany's reaction when she finds out Kyle rescued Nika, or if somebody tells her? I'm not exactly sure what her reaction would be, since, like I said, I don't think she knows Kyle. But finding out how coordinated the rescue efforts were would probably like make her be shocked. But yeah, this trailer looks absolutely... Yeah, this is like the bird creature that I have no clue what the hell it's called. Yeah, how they have Winnie the Pooh talking is just absolutely nuts to me. Where he's like, hello, Christopher. Yeah, obviously this is Winnie the Pooh's lair. The effects look so much better, man. So much better. Like, instead of a mask, you have like actual hair and like an actual, like, but just built special effects. Even if the characters aren't real, I think the kills and everything will be fun. Glad the budget increased helped the designs of Winnie the Pooh and others. Yeah, like the designs look so much better. Like, it looks like rough on like the skin. You can like actually see like it looks like I don't know, like it doesn't look like it's just a mask. It looks like this is actual skin and like, it's actual eyes rather than just like human eyes and like, a mask. Like, obviously this is likely special effects done on an actual human, but it looks much better. Yo, what's up, Alexandra? Just saying maybe she can still find out who's close to Andy. Yeah, that's possible. And that would be really cool in general to see like Tiffany kind of find out about like, all of that, I guess. It's kind of like one of those things where it's like characters meeting other characters that they haven't met yet. Like, this shit just looks insane with like the scale. This nightclub location will be like pretty used, I think, a lot. Oh my god, this was fucking insane. You have fucking, I think it's Winnie the Pooh ripping off someone's fucking head with a bear trap, which I guess will be like one of their weapons. Yeah, you have everyone running down this corridor area, which I think is obviously attached to like the nightclub. So it's maybe it might be like an underground nightclub, which I feel like will be like the finale location for like the final fight. Yeah, this will 100% be like the fucking interesting outfits, I will admit. But oh my god, the amount of fucking corpses just like lying and Christopher Robin stumbling on, which he looks so fucking out of place because it's like everyone else is like half dressed and you have like Christopher Robin rolling up going, not only is he seeing dead bodies, and like I said, this has to be like an underground like nightclub or whatever, because obviously it has like the tunnels connected and obviously like all this like brick walling and like industrial shit. But this has to be like the ending fight, like arena. Mixed with obviously like, this fucking effect looks also fucking like insane. Like his face like mauled obviously by like, Winnie the Pooh. Or Tigger or Piglet or like I said, a bird creature. Yeah, fucking fiery chainsaw. I'm trying to think of what this location is. Not sure. Yeah, Tigger running at the security guard with that like creepy as hell looking face. The bear trap kill looks insane. Same as the flaming chainsaw. Hope to God it's better than the first because the movie really disappointed me. Yeah, I agree. I don't know. It's a movie I would rewatch, but it's nothing that had like any kind of impact on me where I was like, holy shit, I really care about the characters and the story and all of that. It's just like for the concept of like, the crazy concept of Winnie the Pooh and like, all these characters being killers. It's like I didn't really care about the characters. I guess I care about Christopher Robin because he was cool. Like I didn't want him to die, but besides that, it's just like I was there for the concept, the kills, Christopher Robin, and that's really about it. Imagine there was a battle between the good guys and the bad guys, and then at the end, Nika danced like I said. I can see that would actually be cool because I kind of Kristen DeSilvia and like Kyle, because they're both like kind of badass women characters and everything and all of that. I could have seen them like I could have seen them being friends back in Child's Play 3 and Child's Play 2. I could have seen them being friends then, and I could see them being friends now. I never thought about that, like that kind of like dynamic or duo or that character duo and everything, but that'd be really cool. Because like I said, they're both badass, like female characters. Yeah, at least this sequel looks like they're not taking themselves as seriously. The first movie had no reason to act so serious for like a Winnie the Pooh movie. I feel like you could make it serious, but it's just kind of like, if you're gonna make it serious, you have to make sure everything looks really good, or people are just gonna laugh at it and not take it seriously. And obviously, that first movie you can't take fucking seriously, or like there's some sequences you can, but overall you probably aren't gonna take it seriously because it's just like, for example, take like a look at the fight between like the truckers, like hillbilly maybe characters, redneck characters on like the road, and like how all that happens. Like it's just like I like that whole fight was so silly. I couldn't take that seriously for the fucking life of me. And how you had like Winnie the Pooh command bees, which was a cool thing, but it was obviously not done well. Can you please check out how old is Nika? Then I will tell you how old she is. I feel like so bad when I don't. How old Nika Pierce? It's actually cool that was like the first like actual result. So she was born in 1988 and is 34 years old, but I'm not sure how updated that is. I'll assume it's updated to the series because it's Wikipedia and people are constantly going in and changing it. So I'll assume that's the she's 34. I mean, she looks young. So the first movie had some good ideas, but the budget ruined it. I agree. Glad they're doing something with the bigger budget this time around. I also wonder if this movie's gonna go into theaters. I hope it does. Like, I would love to see it in like theaters and all of that. And I hope it like explodes and does really well. But yeah, it's cool they're having like a much big. I think the budget's like a million plus, which is really cool. Also, I did read some stuff during the production. I think it was the post production of the first movie that like the director, I think it was, wanted the process of editing, I think it was, expedited, and like a lot of things feel like that were really rushed. So I hope with this movie, despite the fact it was whipped up quick, that it turns out well, you know? Which already looks like there's more locations, it's a lot bigger scale. And this was creepy. I think this is Young Pooh or Young Winnie the Pooh, which obviously we'll see in like some flashbacks here, which I was wondering if Winnie the Pooh and his friends were like feral before the case. Like, I wonder if this is like the bird creature luring a kid from like a party. Yeah, the whole lair for like Winnie the Pooh and all of them. I mean, Tigger, what's kind of weird is Tigger and Winnie kind of look the same. I don't know. They both like kind of look like they have like, I like, for me at a quick glance with my glasses off, I'd be like, from a distance I'd be like, is this Winnie the Pooh or is this Tigger? Like, I wouldn't know. Do you know what makes sense to me? Do you know how it's Halloween in season 3 episode 4 weeks later it's Nika's 35th birthday? Do you think that makes sense? Wait, November 25th. Actually, I didn't think about that. Like, yeah, I never thought about that actually. When it's quite, like, it's like about to be 2024 in Chucky season 3. I never thought about that actually. When it has like events where it's like Halloween and then you check out a character's birthday and like how close it'll be to their birthday and like when they age. Like I never thought about that actually. I think it's cool. Tigger's like tail is like actually animated. I don't know if that's via animatronics or like CG or like puppetry, but I'm pretty sure it looks CG. This character is kind of interesting. And yeah, you have these girls that get attacked inside this fucking RV. I think it's like Winnie shaking the whole RV and then impales one of them. And obviously, like later on, I really like. It's kind of unfortunate that the Christopher Robin actor from the first movie didn't get to come back. But something about this Christopher Robin, like I think he actually looks like how I'd think Christopher Robin would look. You know? Yeah, young Winnie the Pooh and everything with like a kid with the yellow jacket that I think gets abducted. So I guess Winnie and his friends were a little fucked up, I guess, before the fact. Like, before they found like Christopher Robin and everything as a friend. Or unless this is like after Christopher Robin's left them and he left them pretty young. That's also a possibility. The shots with Pooh climbing from the ground give me Friday the 13th Part 6 vibes. Me too. Like I think what you're referring to is, let me see. Is this where like Jason rises from like the grave and everything in Part 6? What's kind of funny is I've seen Friday the 13th, which I feel ashamed to say this, but I've seen Friday the 13th Part 1 through 4, but I've yet to see the rest. I do want to like finish up my like watch party, I guess, of like or like my kind of watch of like all the Friday the 13th movies. Oh, and I've seen the 2013 reboot. I think it's 2013. Which is kind of like, that movie wasn't terrible, you know? Very Michael Bay-ish, if I do say so myself. But yeah, that like this shot really reminds me of like, that whole shot where he like rises from the grave. Yeah, they get attacked, and I guess Christopher Robin's also working in a hospital, and yeah, there's like all these people like coming with dismantled faces. And they also said that this will be like a movie with a higher kill count. This scene like was fucking weird with like Winnie the Pooh like saying hello Christopher, and they're actually speaking. Unless it's like I said, I think this is Tigger. I don't know. Like I said, the characters look very alike. In my honest opinion. Do you think Michelle Cross will ever come back as a different character? I think it could happen. I mean, it's like it's another one of those things where it's like Dom Mancini, like has a very close connection and is very much friends with a lot of his actors. So I can see her coming back again, and I would like to see her back. Yes, Part 6 is my favorite in the franchise. I absolutely love the vibe of that movie. You should definitely watch them at some point. Great fun. I definitely do plan on watching them 100% because like I actually like Friday the 13th and everything. It's just kind of like I'm very weird with how I watch franchises. Like I'll like watch this one part and I'll go into another franchise and I'll just watch another random movie. It's like I never watch them in like chronological order. It's kind of weird. I've never seen Part 6, but yeah, I know I'm gonna love it because it has like a great actor for Tommy Jarvis, and it looks overall just like an entertaining movie in general. Because I've seen reviews of it and everything. I've seen videos on it. I know like a decent amount of spoilers on it, but I've never seen the full movie. And obviously, like, seeing a full movie versus a few clips, like, obviously seeing the full movie is going to be so much better. Yeah, the designs of Pooh and Tigger are way too similar. Yeah, they look very, very similar, like, close to each other. Like, obviously, I don't think they actually show off Piglet in here. Yeah, this is the RV girls getting, like, fucking terrorized and tortured by, like, what I'm assuming is, like, Winnie the Pooh right here. Actually, I guess a good way to differ the characters, let me see. Yeah, the ears. Like, Winnie the Pooh has kind of like the ears, I guess, like, up here, like, kind of a bit oval shaped or whatever. And then I don't think Tigger has ears. I don't think so. Yeah, it's so hard to differentiate the characters. Because Tigger has also ears up here like this. So it's just like. And they're both so hairy that it's just like, how do you differentiate the characters? I'm trying to find ways of how to do it, but I also had a fucking insane theory that, like, that kids were just innocent kids turned into Winnie the Pooh, like, kidnapped and turned into Winnie the Pooh and all of them. But obviously that's very much not the case. Like, a kind of Five Nights at Freddy's like theory, but obviously, like I said, it's definitely not the case. I have a theory that maybe, like, Down by the Sea, like said, season 4 will take place in space. So my theory goes that Kristen works for space, or for the space station. Maybe she wakes. Oh, Kristen De Sylvia kind of works at, like, a space station. That'd be really cool. And that's, like, actually not too far fetched. Just obviously she's, like, kind of military personnel. Still glad I got rid of the shitty Halloween mask from the first movie. Me too. I'm still trying to find that difference between, like, Winnie the Pooh. I guess it's like the outfits are how you differentiate the both. And maybe, like, Tigger has, like, kind of more hairy ears, while, like, maybe Winnie the Pooh has, like, more clean yellowish ears. I guess maybe Tigger is more orange, while Winnie the Pooh is a little bit more Winnie the Pooh is a little bit more, like, yellowish, I guess. Also, I wonder if this is Christopher interacting with, like, Winnie the Pooh, because it kind of fades when he's in, like, a therapy session into this. Which I guess, yeah, it's a flashback because it's young Winnie the Pooh, so maybe this is Christopher, or something. This trailer does give me some FNAF vibes with the whole child abduction thing, to be fair, yeah. I also find it cool how Christopher Robin's, like, working in a hospital. And it's this sign's very interesting how it's like they did this. Meaning, like, maybe this person knows Christopher Robin and then knows about his friends like Winnie the Pooh and all of them. And then, how, or maybe, like, Winnie the Pooh is known by everyone in the world. So they're like, oh, they did this and they know about Christopher Robin, how he's associated with Winnie the Pooh. That's possible, but it's kind of just how they said they did this. So does this person know Christopher Robin, or, like, personally, or do they just know about him and his friends? Maybe. I have another theory about Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Do you know how Sally came back for the last one as the final girl from Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 could come back in the next one, I think? Oh, you know what's funny is I haven't seen Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. Like, I haven't seen it, but I'm trying to think. What's her name? Stretch. Yeah, Stretch. Yeah, Stretch. Yeah, she could come back. That'd be really cool also. Because she was also a part of the, like, all of it's connected to the Netflix 2022 Texas Chainsaw. I'm not sure how that would work. Actually, I guess, I'm trying to think. I guess Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 is a sequel to the 1974 movie. And I guess the 2022 movie is also a sequel to the 1974 movie. So I guess technically they're all in the same universe. So I guess it's possible, actually. So yeah, it's possible she could show up, and that would be really cool. And she's still alive at the end of the movie, so and maybe that would be an actual interesting what happened after for me to do is for me to do like a what happened to Stretch after Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 and maybe her appearing in a future movie. That would be really cool. Because there is talks, and I did want to discuss this. There is talks of a new Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie. Let me see if it'll show up for... Fuck, there's an actual article for it that like, I actually want to see. Fuck, I don't have the actual article here. Let me see if I could... I guess like the best place we're gonna find it is here. Is how they are. Yeah, I don't know about it happening. Like I don't even know if the trying to think. I mean, she's still doing interviews. Wait, in 2023? Huh. I mean, she's still doing interviews about the character. It is possible. And she seems still interested in the character and the franchise. So actually, I guess I could see it happening. And a new movie is apparently in the works via a rumor. I think it was Daniel RPK, who was a pretty credible leaker, an insider in the whole movie business. So it's possible that she could come back. And this whole movie seems pretty interesting, where it's like, the film sets explore the seemingly peaceful facade of Oasis Oaks, a gated community in the rural Texas. The site notes, within the manicured lawns and vigilant... I'm fucking awful at reading. I'm also tired. Security, a protagonist family enjoying the suburban bliss becomes entangled in a harrowing battle for survival as they confront the infamous Leatherface's macabre kin on an abandoned property nearby. And this is a sequel to the 2022 movie. Obviously we saw Leatherface go home at the end of the 2022 movie, so obviously this kind of makes sense if it was connected to, the 2022 movie, despite the fact I'm fucking, like, still not over the, like, what they did to Sally and how fucking much of a spit in the face that felt like. Yes, it was Geek Vibe Nation, or Vibes Nation, which cited from Daniel RPK, like, as I said, pretty credible leaker and insider about this new movie. And yeah, it's not decided if it's like going to Netflix or if it's connected at all to the 2022 movie, like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but I don't like what they did with Sally, but I guess if we leave that in the past and continue on some new characters and maybe bring Stretch back, then maybe. Yeah, that's exactly what I said about the suburbs and like Texas Chainsaw Massacre is going into more of like a, because obviously this is like a gated community, rich, snobby people, which obviously would be a really good amount of people for Leatherface to like, kill and everything is like, rich, snobby people and all of that. But obviously you have to have some likable characters, which the 2022 movie did have. Despite the fact that I didn't really care a ton for the characters, but yeah, I guess like, the main character of this thing would be pretty, cared about, since obviously it seems like they're like, against their family and everything, their whole like, suburban life and all of that. So I guess they'd be pretty likable, and obviously they might have some friends, kind of like how Sally did in, like, in the 2020 or the 1974 movie. Yeah, Leatherface going into a more rich suburb would be really cool. Like the whole gated community, like HOAs and all of that. Like that'd be really cool to see Leatherface, like, experiment in that. And if this is associated with the 2022 movie where Leatherface goes home at the end of that, and obviously the town would be near, like, Sawyer house, that would be really cool. And also, what's kind of weird about this is how it says infamous Leatherface and his, like, macabre kid, like, his family, I think the, like, Sawyers. The 2022 one was meh, but bringing back Sally was unnecessary, in my opinion. I agree. I'm typically very soft on horror movies because I really like them. And I typically, like, I'm kind of like Eli Roth, how he said in, like, his, like, podcast, how, like, a garbage disposal of horror. Like, I pretty much like anything that's thrown at me. And it's very hard to offend me as a horror fan. Like, what they do with the character. But I was fucking personally offended by what they did with Sally. Like, I actually found the character fucking stupid as shit and everything, what they did. Obviously, I don't blame, I don't remember what the actress's name that played Sally, because obviously, unfortunately, Marilyn Burns, who played the original Sally Hardesty, passed away, but she was really into, like, Texas Chainsaw Massacre and the whole franchise, but she unfortunately passed away, so another actress had to come and play her. I don't blame that actress in the slightest, but they gave her, like, fucking dog shit material. Like, it was awful. I'd be fine with them even bringing back that actress to completely redo and, like, take away that part of the story and bring back the same actress that was in the 2022 movie. Because, like I said, I don't blame her. They just gave her fucking awful material. Which, like I said, as a horror fan, is very hard to offend me by doing something so bad in a movie, but I was so offended by, like, what they did with her. It was so annoying. The Sally from the first movie would never do that. Yeah, it was just so weird. Like, in the original movie, she didn't seem like she seemed kind of, nice and kind and all of that, like the nice southern girl and all of that. She didn't seem like a dog shit person. She just kind of seemed like scared of the situation. She was obviously traumatized, but it's like she wasn't such a piece of shit in the first movie that she wasn't such a piece of shit that I would, like, believe her trapping two girls in a car to lure Leatherface in and have her, like, him potentially kill them. Like, I don't think 1974 Sally Hardesty would have done that at all. Like I said, it takes a lot to offend me as a horror fan, but that personally fucking hurt me when I saw what they did to Sally Hardesty in the 2022 movie. Like, I know, like, a lot of people compare when they bring back legacy characters and just go, oh, they're doing what Halloween did with just Laurie Strode. But it's just like, I would have rather them copy that whole trope of bringing back a horror legacy character and just making them badass and, like, really, like, tactical and all of that, than do what they did. Because here's the thing, it did subvert expectations and not just go down the Laurie Strode route and everything, make just a badass tactical woman. But my God, I would have rather them go down that route than fucking, like, tarnish the legacy of Sally Hardesty by making her a fucking idiot. She also just acted really weird when she was, like, shooting Leatherface. She was, like, screaming. It's like, yeah, she screamed at the end of, like, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 1974 and everything, out of, like, just craze of getting away from that situation and all of that. But it's just like, yeah, like, if there's one thing I hate about that movie so badly, it is Sally Hardesty. And like I said, I don't blame the actress at all. It's just she was given, like, really bad material. And then the 2022 movie did do well enough. And obviously, this has, like, a full fucking bio and description and all of that. So I guarantee, like, obviously take this with a grain of salt because I don't know if it's actually happening or not. But the fact they have, like, an actual bio and, like, all of this description, I feel like it is going to happen, this movie. Because obviously it did well on Netflix and all of that. I don't think great with critics. Like, let me see. Let's see. Yeah, the movie didn't do great with critics. And yeah, Olin Fowre did Sally Hardesty. Like I said, I don't blame her at all. Let's see what the audience reviews are. Yeah, audience reviews. Because here's the thing: if you look at critics, it's just like most people don't trust critics; they trust the audience score. And yeah, I did not love it. And she died just so the main character can move on. Yeah, uh, I hate when they do that. When they're just like, oh yeah, let's bring back a legacy character so we can do this, and it's just like I don't like that. What are audience reviews for this? I'm like actually curious. It's fine. I expect it to be better. Yeah, I guess. Actually, this was another criticism I saw that I actually kind of agreed with like I agreed with was the fact that it's like Leatherface in the first movie seemed just like a big bumble and idiot that was scary. He was kind of like a henchman for like, the bigger family members. Whereas in this movie, he just seemed like a fucking badass, on his own 2 feet guy, which I guess after like, what was it, like 50 years or so, I guess it makes sense that he like, aged up and all of that. And, taking revenge for like the fact that all of them are trying to take over his like, town, and they killed his like, only like mother character. The movie had potential, but I think bringing back Sally removed my charm in it. It felt stupid. I think if they didn't bring back Sally, I think it would have been a better movie. But I think bringing back Sally was just kind of eh. And like I said, I didn't care a ton for the characters, which is kind of unfortunate because they had an actress in it that actually I really like. Let me see. Yeah, Elsie Fish. I genuinely, she was actually good in the movie. She was pretty good in it. But it felt like kind of sad that like I didn't love the movie and they had her in it. And she, like I said, I really like her in a lot of movies. Like she was great in 8th Grade, and she was like in like a lot of other movies that I really liked. Yeah, with Stretch coming back. Yeah, they make Bubba more like Myers. Yeah, it's kind of weird, but I kind of, if they do have a sequel, voice crack. If they do have like a sequel where it's like they bring back some Sawyers, which I don't know how the fuck they're gonna do that. Like maybe it's gonna be like the 2013, I think, movie where they have like this whole extended family that like rides in and everything to help everyone. I do wonder if maybe like, Leatherface will go back to being kind of like a henchman for them rather than just like, a badass killer like Michael Myers. Like I wonder if he'll just return to be a henchman if there's other like, Sawyers about. Which I would like to see. Although I'd have to see I'd have to see the Sawyers, like the ones that they bring in done right. Cause I haven't seen this movie. Let me see. Um Yeah, I haven't seen this movie, but I saw reviews of it. And I thought the Sawyers in this movie 2017 Sawyers. Yeah, I found the Sawyers in this really weird and so they have to be more like the 1974 Sawyers for me to like be fine with them. Like these characters are so iconic. So it's just like if they bring in more Sawyers, I hope they're equally as iconic and good acted and all of that than the Sawyers in the 2017 movie. And the ones in the 2013 movie, I think it was with Alexander Daddario, that one, the Sawyers were just kind of seemed like just random guys that just came in. Some of them had character, and obviously I think Marilyn Burns, the original Sally Hartsey, was one of the Sawyers, which was fucking awesome. Although she seemed way more normal than like the other Sawyers. The family are the best part of the movies. He needs to focus on them more than Leatherface. I agree. So if like this does happen, this like, you know, new movie, it's like kind of like a sequel to the Leatherface, they bring back some Sawyers or they bring in some new ones. I hope they're done well. And based on how this is worded, and like I said, all the like the details, I feel like this is gonna happen. So I can only hope they're bringing some new or like, you know, if they bring in some classic Sawyers, despite the fact that I think the timeline makes them fucking dead as a doorknob and everything. So we'll see. If they do bring in new ones, I hope they're good. If they bring in some classic ones, obviously likely I think played by new actors. I hope it's all done well. Cause, you know, also, I don't think like if people like this movie, I don't think they have like bad taste or anything. It's just like I personally didn't like it. Which obviously, like, you know, if I don't like it, but they like it, like, you know, no one's really in the wrong. It's just like opinions and all. But yeah, I think that's all I really want to talk about in this stream. Like, you know, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which actually came more of as a surprise topic. Chucky Season 3, Part 2, Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey Part 2, or Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey 2 trailer, and Walking Dead news. So yeah, I'm going to end it off here and everything. It was fun talking. A lot of topics and everything. Like I said, like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, like the new movie. If it does happen, I think Rick and Michonne, that new, like, The Ones Who Live series, which was really cool. They had a red carpet or some premiere for it and everything, where, like, all new cast or old cast members came back, which was really fucking cool and, like, hypes me up for potential, like, reunions and all of that. And thank you for talking. It was actually really fun. So yeah, I hope you guys all enjoyed. Thank you for watching. Thanks for talking with me and everything. It's been really fun with all this and everything. I hope to do another stream next week, you know, like Wednesday and Thursday and everything. New videos coming out and everything pretty soon. And yeah, thanks for watching. Peace, my amigos, and peace out. Hopefully a new video either Friday or Saturday on Chucky and, like, you know, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre stuff and the Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey 2 trailer. So yeah, peace, my amigos, and